self-love is huge. And then when you said you have to love yourself first before you could love someone else, huge. Letha, you got all kinds of bars. I've heard you say all kinds of cool stuff. Dave, like, yo, that's you, Letha. You might have to write that down. So it's funny, but the best bar I remember, and it lives rent free in my brain, is Dave Mind. When you said that and he told me about that, it's like, oh my God, that is so true. Like, and the way that he talked about coming out of his head and being able to find love again, like I just remember that conversation, and it sticks with me because when you are in love and that place of love is the base camp, you can make statements like that and hear it in a loving space.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I just want to throw that in there because that was beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you brought it up too, because that's actually what we do. The base camp is that like, we have a conversation where we help each other come back to love. So it's like, it's not even trying to figure out the situation at hand. It's not trying to come to a solution about the problem. It's like, well, okay, I see that you're not in love right now, Dave. Like, let's talk to Letha so she can help you get back to love. Okay, Letha, you're not in love right now. Let's have a conversation so you can come back to love for yourself. And then when you're seeing from the base camp of love, now we're about to move in a new direction. But it's like we have to come back there. And so our conversation is really about, okay, how can we get each other back to love? And then we're going to be cool at that point.
And even with that, it's like, I would say it either is I have to have a conversation with myself first, or I have to have the conversation with myself after the conversation we had. Like, it's either in that way, because I have to come to the clarity myself first before, we can once again cultivate this together. But it does help, like maybe I want to express how I feel, and then I express how I feel with Dave, and then maybe Dave has to sit with this for a moment, and then, we allow ourselves to have some space, and then we return back once again. And it's really just, really taking care of yourself, but as well allowing yourself to take care of yourself with each other, that you allow yourself to open up or to share or express. And that's really powerful.
Yeah.
This is the journey, right? Like, because this didn't necessarily happen day one flawlessly, right? Like, I know it didn't in my relationship, right? It's like, I remember I learned about this understanding, and I felt like I took the stick out of my wife's ass. Like, for so long, I was like, yo, you need to change. You need to change. You need to change. And she's just like, oh, I love you, Danny. I love you so much. And then like, I learned about this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm an asshole because you just loving the crap out of me right now. So tell me a little bit more about that journey from day one. Hey, we met in Mexico to today.
Yeah. So it's funny because obviously it's like we met day one. So what we said is like we started a new relationship. It's like we had the first relationship, which was on the phone, and then we had the real relationship, which is in person action. So you have your phases of, we can say, like this kind of honeymoon phase, if you want to say it like that. We kind of, but it's like, where it's like, it's just like, it was cool actually. Okay, this is what I say. A lot of the conditioning and all of the conditioning that we have, it wasn't being shown yet. It wasn't coming up yet. A lot of the things that I think about myself and how I feel about myself, how I feel about relationships, that wasn't being shown the first, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month actually. And then, as you get in stride, now these things start to come up, and now it's, you get an opportunity to work through these things or try to run away. And I've tried to run away a lot of times actually, but it's like, when you stick in it, it's like you get to work through things that you may not have been able to work through by yourself. And the relationship is a beautiful reflection and a beautiful space to bring something for you to see who you are, to see what you got going on. And that's what it's kind of been like on this journey, actually, to see what I got going on. You know what I mean? And so, yeah.
Yeah. And with that, I was like, I just, want to be fully honest, like within our relationship, the first 15 months being online, when you start talking, you are just so interested in each other. It's just pure, like, how do you call it? Like pink glasses? What is it?
Rose color
color glasses. Yeah.
And then through that experience, as we're over the phone, we're over a year, then slowly but surely, like things, are arising and things coming to the light and things that were not being shared and where we're not being honest about. And, moments where we, like broke up and then coming together, broke up, coming together before we even met in real life. And then being in real life together, that just was a total different level, but still that arose. Like it still arises that you want to run away because you're running away from loving yourself, because that's what the relationship is about, self-love. And you don't want to grow, you don't want to go further, because then you have to forgive yourself and let go of certain ideas about yourself. And yeah, so that has been, like quite a journey. And then being together in real life, that still arises. It's like, ideas that you want to leave, or, like moments where you really feel so in love because you're just so in love with yourself. And then, and then I would say kind of like over the last months, both of us getting just so clear. It's like we have been in a relationship over 2 years. Like a few months ago, both of us finally like kind of started to actually look into what we wanted this relationship to be. So it was first just kind of, all over the place. We were indeed in a relationship. We called ourselves, that we were together and in that kind of formal way. But like last month, we finally got even more clear, and we're getting more clear every single time in regards to where we want this relationship to go and the relationship we have with ourselves.